Let's talk about Internet Capital Group and providing a 100x return for investors there.
I would say Internet Capital Group is one of my classic father quotes, which is better to be lucky than smart. Well, if I translated that from his generation to our generation, that doesn't mean that there wasn't reality behind it, but the Internet Capital Group was in the right place at the right time because the macro was all about, for those of you younger, what we're doing in AI back in 1999 was what everyone was talking about with the internet. It's going to change everything. And if you happen to be an internet company, and especially an internet company like Internet Capital Group, who had decided to change the venture model by only focusing on internet companies, I mean, that sounds really simple today. It wasn't simple back then. And the fact that you would actually take yourself public, which venture capital groups didn't. They were private capital, and that's the way they wanted to be. It was a really unique company at the time. And it had a big impact, 1997 through the rest of the internet. It was a brainchild of a couple of guys in Philadelphia. I happened to join the team after I had sold my company in Colorado and to help open up the West Coast office. But Internet Capital Group was pretty simple, that you would actually go after internet-enabled companies, that you would take a wide swath from everything from what was internet going to do to water management, from what was the internet going to do to vertical marketplaces and sales. And they placed a lot of bets. The only problem that they had at the time in 1999 was they couldn't get public because none of their investments had become liquid. So we decided we needed to take one of our companies public because that would prove to people the power of the model was inherent, and therefore you're buying a public, almost like an ETF. You're going to buy a conglomerate of all these companies that were going to be public companies. We had a company in Horsham outside of Philadelphia, which was called Vertical Net. Two Mikes, Mike McNulty and Big Mike, as we call them, but they had never really run a company, but they had built all these websites for different verticals to buy and sell. We decided that we would do two things. One is we brought in a guy, Mark Walsh from GE. I jumped over to help take this company public. At the time, we had pretty normal and rational expectations that we thought we could get it out. And Lehman Brothers was our banker. And they were at the time, the gold standard. We stumbled. We had to get more. This wasn't right. That wasn't right. And we finally got it public. We had $3 million of revenue. And we went public, I believe it was at $14 a share. And we thought, oh my God. And it just dropped. It just dropped to $12 and $11. Was this going to work or not going to work? From that day on, when we had the doubt, it went up to 60. It split. It went up to 100. It split. It went up to 300. It split. We went from a $3 million revenue company to a $10 billion valuation.